Hello everybody, my name's Alicia and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from the United States. Today I would like to show you how I made this card using the butterflies and flowers masks, layering masks, and embossing powder. I just love this embossing powder. This is the first time I've ever used it. I think it came out great. It's so pretty, adds a whole nother dimension. Yeah. So I'm going to use those. I'm using the set Friendly Hello that can be found in the Celebration catalog, which will be available January 4th. And so yeah, here, let's get started. So the first thing that you want to do is you need to have your silicone craft mat. This really comes in handy. It just, with the embossing powder, just, it cleans up so nice. And then I have my cardstock, my fresh freesia, and this is one of the beautiful masks from the butterflies and flowers layering masks. This is one of the backgrounds. I think it is just so beautiful. So you need your craft mat, you need a mask, you need embossing powder, a palette knife. You also make sure and have a tray or some type of water available, because when this embossing powder dries, it's easier to get off and clean everything up once it's, I just put everything right in a tray of water. I have my tray of water off to the side. It's out of the camera view. And then you need some type of tape. This is washi tape. You can use masking tape. You could use painter's tape, whatever you have available. So the first thing that I do is I tape my mask down to my craft sheet. We want it to stay in place. So I just tape it just like so. Okay. And then I tape all the way around. Get that here. Like that. Okay. And like so. Okay, and then you want to take your embossing powder. Well, I guess it's embossing paste, excuse me. I've been saying embossing powder, I'm sorry. Embossing paste. And you want to keep it closed. Don't keep it open too long, because like I said, it dries up pretty fast. So I just want to take, scoop some out and lay it on the middle. And then I'll take my paste and cover it back up. Not too tight, because I'm going to take it off when I get the excess off. And then you're just going to take your palette knife and you just want to spread it around. Kind of like you're frosting a cake. And you just want to fill in all the spots from the mask. Just like so. I probably didn't need this much because it really doesn't take much. Okay, so you just want to get in all the little spots, all the little holes from the mask. And then I did try this a couple of times before I did my video, just so I knew what I was doing. And honest, truly, it's pretty easy. I can't wait to try it with where you mix some color into it and add it on. You can, do it with watercoloring. There's just so many different ways to do this. And then I just take my, flat one of the sides from and scrape off the excess. Just smooth it out. It reminds me of a remodeling, a home improvement project I was doing in my kitchen. I'm putting spackling on my walls. This kind of reminds me of that. So if you've ever done that, you'll have a idea of what that's like. So then yeah, I just scrape the excess off and I'm going to cover up. And I did see somebody a tip. It's a good tip. She makes sure that her stuff is down in the jar. Kind of helps that out so it doesn't dry out. I'm going to cover that right away. Make sure the lid's on good and tight. And I'm going to put my palette knife in my tray of water. I also have, I should have said, have a like a towel or a paper towel, a rag, something to have on hand to clean up your area. And then you just peel this tape up. And just like that. Isn't that just beautiful? Oh my gosh, I just love this. So then what I do is I'm just going to take my tape off right away. And I'm going to put this right in my tray of water. It just makes cleanup just a whole heck of a lot easier. Okay, I'm going to, now this has to dry. I sort of timed it. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes to dry. See what I mean about the craft mat? Oh, this silicone mat. I just love this. This is just so nice to have. It's another great tool to have in your craft room. Let's see the exact name. Silicone craft sheet. And that can be found in your annual catalog. I really like it. It's really nice. So forgive my space. I didn't have paper down because I didn't know how much of a mess I was going to make with the paste. Okay, so I have my area cleaned up. So now we're going to let this dry. Takes, like I said, about 10-15 minutes. And I have my card pieces ready to put together so that we'll start coloring. And that gives the time for the embossing paste to dry. So I took a sheet of Pool Party. It's your standard size, and then it's scored at 4 1/4. We're just going to go ahead and take our bone folder. And we're going to burnish that, just like so. Okay, and then I'm going to use a piece of black. And this is, let's see, 5 3/8 by 4 and 1/8 across. So that will be the mat on here. Okay. And then I have a piece of the Friendly Hello. This is the designer series paper from the Friendly Hello set from the Celebration catalog. When you spend $100, you can choose the Friendly Hello. It comes with the stamp set, which is just beautiful. The stamp set. And then you get a pack of, let's see if I have it handy, designer series paper that goes with it. And there's just so many beautiful sheets in this. And they're all, of course, they're Stampin' Up, they're designer series paper, so they're printed on both sides. And it's just gorgeous. It uses the colors, let's see what it's, Basic Black, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Shaded Spruce. So yeah, just beautiful colors. Okay, so that's when you spend $100 from starting January 4th. This is one of the things you can choose, and it's, I mean, I just love it. I love the sentiments. I love the flowers, and that paper is just gorgeous. Okay, so I have my Basic Black. This is the designer series paper. This was 2 inches by 4, and that will go like so. And then we'll put our once this dries, we'll put our Fresh Freesia like so for our mat. And then we'll use some Pool Party ribbon. Yeah, so I think that's really pretty. I'm just in love with this embossing paste. I can't wait to try it when you add color to it. So pretty. Okay, so then what I did was I used the Stitch So Sweetly dies and cut out a piece of basic white. And then I stamped the bird and the flowers from the Friendly Hello, and then I'm going to use stamping blends to color that in. So when I use my stamping blends, so we're going to use crumb cake for the bird. I always like to start with my dark first, and then I'm just going to go just on the lines and the feathers. Let's get some dark spots in there. And then we'll do a little shading like so, like that. And then I'm going to go with the light crumb cake and use the brush tip end, and I'm just going to go over them, and I'm going to blend in. Try not to go outside like I just did. And then do his belly. Okay, just color in. You want to kind of blend so that there's not that distinct line from your shadow. Okay, and then what you can do is if there's some spots where you want it a little darker, you can just go back over again where you think, you know, it's your bird. Yeah. Like that. And then I'm going to take my color lifter blend, and I'm just going to go in the belly just a little bit, just to make it just a little bit lighter here. My belly. Okay, and then I'm going to go on the branch. I'm going to use the fine tip or the bullet tip, and I'm just going to do a little bit, not too much. And then I'm going to go with the light crumb cake, just like so. Okay, and then I'm going to use the light granny apple green to fill in the veins on these leaves. Just like that. There's a vein here on this leaf. Okay. Then I'm going to use the fresh freesia for the flowers. I'm going to start with the dark. Just go wherever you want it to be dark. It's totally up to you, however you want it to be. I'm going to do both of the flowers in fresh freesia. Like that. And then I'm going to use some pale papaya for the center of the flower. Do that in dark. Guess I could have finished my flower petals first, and then with the light. And then let's go over with the light freesia. Like so. I just love these blend markers. They're so easy to use. You don't have to be really good at coloring. You don't see all the lines. It doesn't take a lot of time, as you can see. And it just gives it that really, I think, professional look. So pretty. And then, like I said, if you want to go back over with any dark anywhere, you can. I don't always, but sometimes I do. Like that. So there's all your coloring is done for the outside. And then I did stamp on a piece of pale papaya with a sentiment, hope you have the best birthday, which is from the Friendly Hello set. And I really like to do the inside of the card. And I just took a piece of basic white and cut it at 5 1/4 by 4. And then I just took one of the stamps from the set, and I just stamped on the bottom. I just stamped off the sides, and now I'm just going to color these with the fresh freesia, and we can put this on the inside of the card. I always think it just really adds something. People aren't always expecting, unless they get cards from you a lot of times and you do this, but they're not out expecting the inside of the card to be decorated. And I just really adds, you know, it just kind of brings everything together. So here we go with the fresh freesia. The dark first. Oh, that was light. Oh well. Well, I'm going to grab the dark again. Go over again. So, like I said, it's forgiving. That's what's so nice about these blends. It's just really can't make much of a mistake. It's like that. And hopefully by the time we're done with this, then our embossing paste will be dry. I'm sure you could take your heat gun and go over it, make sure it's dry. I haven't experimented with that yet, so I don't want to jinx it because it is turned out really pretty. But I'm sure you could go over it with your heat gun if you were in a hurry. Needed to speed up the drying process a little bit. So yeah, let's get our coloring going here. And I'm going to leave the centers because I'm going to do the pale papaya as the center to go with the colors in the DSP, which is another nice thing about Stampin' Up. All of their colors coordinate, which is so nice. There's no trying to figure out what purple goes with what shade of other, you know, pastel colors. Like this Fresh Freesia just goes so beautifully, you know, with Pool Party, with the Fresh Freesia. Yeah, it's just so nice. It was just because before I started using Stampin' Up, that was my biggest problem, was it took me forever to pick out my colors because it just nothing ever coordinated. And with this, there's just, they take all the guesswork out of it, which is so nice. I just love it. So here's our pale papaya, and I'm gonna put a little dark in like so, and then with the light, just gonna go like this, blend it up. And there we have the inside of the card. Super easy, cute, just adds a little bit. I'm going to leave this card blank. You could definitely put a sentiment on here for a birthday card, or just leave it as a blank card, write your own little note, whatever you so wish. Oh, and here, this card, I forgot to color that one in. I'll have to go and do that later. Okay, let's check and see if our, yep, and that's dry. So now we can assemble our card. That didn't take any time at all. None whatsoever. So like I said, just do that first. And then that way, while you're doing your other, cutting your parts and pieces out, that can dry. And then by the time you're done coloring and cutting out your mats, and I already realized what I did. I don't want to glue this on yet because I want to, well, maybe I can put this on here. We'll try and see. I want to attach my ribbon to the mat, so I don't want to quite put that on my card base yet. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. We got our DSP here. Let's see if we can. Oh, heck yeah. Good deal. Put that, and then what I want to do is I want to take my Pool Party ribbon. I love this. This is Pool Party, and then I'm just going to lay that here. I'm going to grab my snips. And then I use the cheater method for my bows. I'm just going to flip that over, just like so. You could use your glue, you could use your seal. I just have always used Scotch tape. Just like that. I'm going to turn it over, make sure that it's straight how I want it. And then I'm just going to go with my glue. We're going to run it around. I always like to make sure I get as close to the corners as possible, because my biggest pet peeve is a homemade card where the corners were coming up. Make sure and get as close to the corners as possible. And then I'll go on my card base here. And that's what's nice about the Tombow liquid glue, is it's forgiving. So if you don't have it on straight, you still have time to shift it around. Okay, so there we have that. Now we're going to take our sentiment, or our bird, and we're going to put some pop dots on there. I have some pop dots left over from my last paper pumpkin kit that I'm using up. And we're just going to, more dimensionals, the better. So we have our dimensionals right here. And I'm going to put it a little bit more off to the side here so there's space for my bow. Okay, that, and then we have our sentiment. Hope you have the best birthday, and we're going to put a couple of the dimensionals on there. Peel them. So I think we want it just right about here. Okay, now I'm going to take my ribbon, and before I cut it, I'm going to tie a bow. Hopefully this is in the camera for you to see. And just like that. I see I got ink everywhere on my hands. That's not unusual for me. It's either ink or glue. I'm just making this so that make a pretty bow. I'm going to take my scissors, my trimmers, and snip the ends. A little bit of an angle, and then I'm going to put it there. So I'm going to grab my glue dots, and we are going to just go like that. We're going to put our bow like that, just like so. Okay, so there we have that. Now we just have to put the inside of our mat in that we stamped and colored with blends. And again, we're going to use the all-purpose glue. I'll just kind of scribble it all over. All right, here we go. I'll put that in our card. Just like this. Make sure it's straight. There you have it. Here's the card with the embossing paste and the friendly hello stamp set and designer series paper from the celebration that will be starting January 4th. I hope you liked this video. If you could like or comment on my video, that would be great. You could also subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I will also be posting this on Facebook under my Expressions by Lish page. You can catch it there. And like I said, whenever, just please feel free to reach out and contact me. I'll answer any questions. If you need a mini catalog or celebration catalog, I'll be more than happy to send that out to you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.